The Big Five American sports are all scheduled in November for the first time since November 2020, and we want to celebrate by slashing the cost of all daily packages by 50%, including 5% best bets. Starting Tuesday, November 1st through Sunday, November 7th, $25 daily packages are priced at $12.50, and $35 5% best bets are priced at $17.50. But even better, this is the perfect time to take advantage of Wager Talk's one-day all access. Lock in the handicapper of your choice for one full day for only $39, including when they have a 5% top play that normally sells for $35. But during our 50% slash promotion, you get a one-day all access for only $19.50. This special is valid through Sunday, November 7th, so save the whole week long.
Welcome into the NFL Opening Line Report, Monday, November 1st. I am Drew Martin, joined by Teddy Covers each and every Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, right here on the Wager Talk YouTube channel. Opening Line Report style, going down the list here, Teddy. Always good to see you. 4-0 this week in the NFL. Seeing it good, seeing it clearly. You're hot, man. Welcome into the show.
Yeah, it was good too. Good to sweep this weekend for the clients and myself. Although, you know me, Drew, I'm never happy. You know, I should have had the Jets as a service play. I should have had Eagles as a service play. So even though I won them all, I felt like, and I won the free play. I mean, everything turned out real good over the course of the weekend, even dating back to Thursday. But nonetheless, I feel like I left something on the table, a couple of bets on the table that I probably should have cashed. So swept the board. That's the goal. But of course, that's all rearview mirror now. You know, Monday morning, that's all last week. The focus is always moving forward. And that's what we'll try to do on today's show.
Absolutely. 4-0 week in the NFL, but we can always improve. Teddy, we got the Monday nighter before we hit the opening line report. We get the Chiefs and the New York Giants. We're seeing 10.5 now. This was a game that opened the Chiefs minus 13. Now we're seeing 10.5 pretty much across the board, 52 being the total. Anything real quick here at the top on the Monday night football game tonight?
Well, just my notes from last week. The Chiefs with 13 at the look ahead. They actually opened last Sunday night at 9.5, and it's been, a modest amount of KC money since that time. And we're seeing 10s and 10.5s out there right now, with 10.5 being the prevailing number for Kansas City. And I'm not involved in the game tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs get well tonight, and I wouldn't be surprised if they lose another one outright. So, I could see both cases in this. In terms of when you need to bet it or when you want to bet it, again, I'm seeing mostly 10.5s out there. I'm not seeing any dramatic indicators this line's going anywhere as we speak. Total-wise, we're sitting at 52 just about everywhere. And again, I'm not seeing any indicators on the board. So I don't sense a strong sense of urgency if you're going to get involved tonight, one side or the other. Of course, that's not the case for the opening line report because, as you know, last week, Drew, again, that's 2 weeks in a row on the opening line report. The difference between winning and losing is watching this show and taking advantage of the emergency betting alerts and the doodly-oops. We did that with the Buffalo Bills last Monday, 13.5. Game closed 15.5. Buffalo wins by 15. All right.
Yeah,
emergency betting alert, you cash. No emergency betting alert, you lose. So that's what we're trying to do, is get you guys on the right side of these moves every single week. And 2 weeks in a row on the opening line report, there's been the difference between winning a bet on a team or losing a bet on the team. It's the number, not the team, that we're trying to take advantage of.
Bet numbers, not teams, guys. And speaking of opening line report last week, Teddy, the Jets plus the 10 was one of the doodly-oops, the emergency betting alerts from last week. And sure enough, they are the Thursday night football team. Not to mention they cashed with Mike White throwing for over 400 yards. I didn't see that one coming, Teddy. But either way, we got Thursday night football starting us here on the opening line report, November 4th, Thursday night, 46.5 being the total. We're talking the New York Jets at the Indianapolis Colts. We're seeing the Colts minus 10.5 at home. Short week for both teams here, Teddy. This one opened, minus 14, and we're seeing 10.5. Huge move here, Teddy. What are we seeing, Jets and Colts?
Well, again, these openers are not the openers from yesterday. These are the look-ahead lines from last week that are somehow posted as openers.
Okay.
Look-ahead line last week, Indy minus 14, total of 44. And, of course, These are bettable lines from the Westgate from last week on this game. When you look at the Wager Talk Live odds screen, these are going to show us the Westgate openers all week, but they're not the real openers. These are openers from a week ago. These are the look-ahead lines. The opener last night is 10.5 and 46. My powering number is Indy 10. The market's 10.5, 46.5 right now. The Jets were -2 in turnovers. They were double-digit dogs, and they won the game straight up. Mike White with the game of his life. Running back Ty Johnson, quote, "He's a dog. He's an animal. He's a savage. I told him before the game, you're a gunslinger, so let's ride." And he was, 38 of 45. NFL record for the most completions in a player's first start, threw for 400 yards. It was special for the Jets yesterday. Great offensive game plan from Mike LaFleur. A lot of trick plays, a lot of misdirections, a lot of easy completions. Mike White after the game, going out there and watching film at the beginning of the week and seeing what they do on defense, I knew there would be completions out there. But now it's a short week and you're traveling and now there's a little bit of film on you. So those are certainly concerns for the Jets this time around. The question for me is what Indy does. Really, this is a Colts team. Again, my powering number on the game was 10. So it's a little bit shorter than the markets this morning. And I had to downgrade Indy off of yesterday. What Carson Wentz did at the end of that game, and again, his quote on the first awful interception, terrible play, the one in the end zone. He threw up and over the middle late as he's falling down to be intercepted and returned for a touchdown. I was about to go down and thinking, just throw it, don't force it. That's the one I'm so mad at myself for. I'm beating myself up. Of course, then Wentz led the game-tying drive after that. But even that comes with asterisks. He's chucking balls up. And the big play, he chucked one up into quadruple coverage. And the guy came down with it. There are issues now for Indy. That was a bad loss. It was a game they could have won yesterday. They had chances to put away early. They had chances to win late. And now they're a team with cluster injuries at wide receiver. They lost T.Y. Hilton yesterday. Paris Campbell's not playing. They only had 3 wide receivers down the stretch. Wentz is struggling. Not necessarily an easy team for the markets to lay doubles with here. I would not be surprised if there's a little bit of continuation of Jets money, being that the Jets looked so good yesterday. So, again, leading indicators, I'm not seeing a lot here. But gut reaction says, I don't know. This line's not going up. If we're going to see anything, it'll be the money coming on the Jets, especially with Indy's cluster injuries at wide receiver.
Yeah, Teddy, total agreement there. And Teddy, last week I asked you, about the Thursday night game. I thought it was, what the spread would be if it was on Sunday. This being kind of a tricky handicap here. Jets and Colts. We get Mike White with the 1-start, short week now on the road, catching 10.5. How much difference, if this game kicked off on Sunday, would there be any difference at all in the handicap, in your opinion? In the spread, excuse me, in the odds?
In the spread, not necessarily. I still think it'd be in that 10.5 range. In the handicap, absolutely. Because the rookie head coaches, the first-year head coaches, do not have great track records on the road on Thursday night.
Okay. Maybe something to check out there, guys, in the Jets and Colts Thursday night game. So starting top of the board here on Sunday, guys, we got 4-5-1, 4-5-2. We're going down in rotation order. So the Sunday card, November 7th here, we get Houston and Miami. Looks like 46.5 being the total here, Teddy. We are seeing the Dolphins -7-point favorites. Who are the Dolphins laying a full touchdown to, Teddy? Speaks volumes of the Texans. What are we liking in Miami Gardens on Sunday?
Look ahead line, Miami -7, 45.5. My power rating, Miami -7. The markets are -7. And we've seen a little bit of over money. The 45.5 is now gone. We're looking at 46/46.5 right now. There is a chance that Tyrod Taylor plays this week for the Texans. Tyrod Taylor will move this point spread if he plays. Davis Mills as the rookie QB. The markets will move to Houston if Taylor plays. And from early indications, that it appears to be at least a reasonable chance that he's going to play this week. Now we have a Texans team. You want to talk about box scores that are going to lie. The Texans are down 38-0 at the start of the fourth quarter against the Rams. They ended the game 38-22 and throwing in the end zone for another score. Okay, so they were completely blown out in the game, non-competitive in the game, but the box score looks fine.
Right.
What does that do? That attracts wise guy support. They've lost 7 in a row. The longest losing streak for Houston's losing 14 in a row in 2013. Mills 0-6 as a starter. And again, he threw for 310 yards, but they're all garbage yards. All of them. Okay. David Culley, quote, "I'm disappointed and frustrated, but I'm not discouraged with this football team simply because of what I saw at the end there. They're not going to quit." Miami, too, has lost 7 straight overall since winning week 1. Brian Flores under fire. Tua Tagovailoa under fire. Flores talking about his job security. Quote, "I'm just worried about the players. I'm worried about them getting better, helping them improve." So he's trying to push it away. Defensive tackle Christian Wilkins. I thought this was a meaningful quote. "Obviously, it can get a little disappointing. All right, this is a team that's lost 3 times on walk-off field goals, including the last 2 games. It can get a little disappointing." Wilkins, quote, "But I refuse to be miserable. I'm not going to duck my head. I'm sure that's what a whole lot of people want us to do, but I'm not going to do that." That being said, Miami's saying the right things. This is not a team the markets are going to be excited about laying a touchdown with. That said, we haven't seen any money on Houston at all in any recent game. If Taylor plays, we'll see Texas money. If he doesn't, this line's sitting right where it is. Not seeing any indicator moves on this one. I'm not convinced anyone is excited about backing either one of these two teams.
Teddy, next game up, 4-5-3, 4-5-4. We get the Denver Broncos and the Dallas Cowboys. We are seeing the Cowboys -8, -8.5 now. So a little push up here on the Cowboys. 49.5 being the total, this one in Dallas.
And this is a Dak line. My number, look ahead line here was Dallas -7, total of 49. My powering number with Dak, Dallas -9 with Cooper Rush, Dallas -4.5. The markets are saying that Dak might have sat this week, but it's not going to be anything resembling a long-term injury. That's why we're seeing a mature marketplace for a team with a QB question mark. They're expecting Dak to play. Now, Denver found a way to win a game yesterday. If you watch the end of it, you know what I mean by found a way. It was a struggle for that team. It was a struggle the whole way. They really tried to gift the game back to Washington in the last minute, but Washington couldn't take it, and the defense stepped up when it matters. Safety Justin Simmons, quote, "Everyone was throwing the panic word out there. I don't like the word panic. Urgency is a really good word. Defensively, we came out with a great energy, but it's a Broncos team that repeatedly this year has struggled to put the ball into the end zone. They drive between the 20s. The red zone offense hasn't been there, and that's not what you want against Dallas. Again, Dallas is -2 in turnovers. They have 11 penalties. They're playing with the backup quarterback, and they still went straight up as underdogs yesterday. Cooper Rush, it was just as good as the dream. But you have Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb and Cedric Wilson that are really stepping up for Dallas. Amari Cooper after the game, quote, "Trust the matchups on the outside," is what he kept telling Cooper Rush. "Those guys can't guard us." I don't know who can guard Dallas right now. Really interesting matchup between the Cowboys defensively and that Broncos
defense
secondary, which has been real good all year. But we can anticipate this line moving based on whatever injury info comes out with Dak. If Dak gets some love and Dak's going to play, money will come on Dallas. If Dak isn't going to play or he doesn't look as good in practice or some issues, the money more likely to come for Denver.
Sure. And injury information dependent here on this line move. We got Minnesota and Baltimore next game up, guys. 4-5-5, 4-5-6 here. 49.5 or 50, depending where we're shopping. Mostly 49 in the hook here for the total. We're talking the Minnesota Vikings, Baltimore Ravens, and we're seeing the Ravens -5.5. It looks like South Point showing a 6 here with the Ravens favored at home. Teddy, of course, Minnesota off of that game last night. That was a tough one. Money moving. And it was wrong, but heck, who knows? Maybe the Vikings bouncing back here against the Ravens. What are we thinking in Baltimore?
Sure. So look ahead line, Baltimore -6, 49.5. My powering number has the Ravens at 7. in this ballgame. I dropped Minnesota after last night's game. That was a bad loss. For a team that's fighting for a playoff spot to lose the way they did. Again, they're +2 in turnovers. They're facing a backup quarterback, and you're still losing straight up as home favorites. Only converting 1 of 13 on third downs. 8 of their 12 possessions lasted 5 plays or fewer. And Kirk Cousins saying, well, it was a combination of coverage and pressure. Adam Thielen after the game. Every game we just hang around, let the team hang around instead of just putting our foot on the gas and going. Is that a veiled criticism of his quarterback or his coordinator? I don't like the smell of Minnesota right now. That's all I can say. They're not a team I'm looking at back. And again, 5.5, 6. I'm seeing there are a couple of 5s out there right now for the Ravens. And again, this is a Ravens team that's coming off a bye, coming off a dismal game in which they had no answers for Joe Burrow. Burrow threw for over 400 yards. They've given up 3 400-yard passers in the first 7 games, the third team all time to allow that. How good is this Baltimore defense? The running backs had a rough time against Cincinnati. Now, you like a good team off a loss and a bye. That's the spot the Ravens are in this week. Interesting game. Again, the markets aren't giving us a clear indicator of where the number is going to go. And my powering number slightly higher on Baltimore than the markets are right now. Lean Ravens in this one.
Great analysis there, Teddy. I didn't realize the Ravens with the passing stat with their defense and Minnesota not passing the smell test. Good stuff from Teddy Covers. Follow him on Twitter at Teddy_Covers. Check him out, Wager Talk or SportsMemo.com off of a 4-0, 100% NFL week. And guys, like always, the long-term stats are very good as well. 57% winning percentage since 2015. Guys knows the NFL betting market as good as anybody out there. Check them out, Wager Talk or SportsMemo.com. Teddy Covers. Next game up, 457-458. The rotation number here, Teddy. Still 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific kicks. Patriots at the Panthers. New England at Carolina here. We're seeing the Patriots -3 in the hook. Point favorites. There is a -4 out there at Circa in Las Vegas. Looks like 42 being the total in Carolina. What are we liking here, Teddy?
Yeah, look-ahead line was -2.5, 43.5. My powering number is 3. And the markets, all of a sudden, we're starting to see some respect for New England. And deservedly so. The Patriots have played good, competitive football. And Belichick's messing up quarterbacks, man. He messed up Justin Herbert yesterday. They're completely out of sync, the Chargers offensively, for most of the day. And they were able to win a game on the road against a playoff team on a day where Mac Jones and the offense weren't very good. Nick Foles was kicking field goals all day. But he wasn't sharp. Belichick, all in all, we made the plays we needed to make in the fourth quarter, which is something we hadn't done as well early in the year. Obviously, AP, that's Adrian Peterson's 2 picks, a couple of interceptions that were huge. With the difference in the game, he does a good job of seeing the routes, blah, blah, blah. Mac Jones, I'm not always going to be perfect. For me, sometimes that's really hard because I want to be perfect, better than that. He finished 18-35. But I think everyone around me had a great day. That's what football is all about. The Patriots team is going to get some love. We don't know yet the status of Sam Darnold, who got knocked out of the game with a concussion. P.J. Walker is not an NFL quarterback. And if he starts, there will be a lot of Patriots money in this game. Again, and the Panthers didn't trust him at all. And again, they're playing with a lead, but Walker threw 1 pass. Didn't complete it. It was all handoffs. And of course, Carolina's defense was great yesterday. They held Matt Ryan to 213 total yards in offense, and New England can get thrown off their game. No surprise here if we see more under money in this one. 43.5, even 44.5 at the opener. We're looking at 41.5 right now. Cashed a ticket with the Patriots over yesterday. I'm not convinced I'm going to get to the betting window with the Patriots over again this week.
Teddy, next game up, still 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific kicks here. We're talking the Jacksonville Jaguars hosting the Buffalo Bills. We're seeing Buffalo laying doubles on the road, actually 2 full touchdowns here, Teddy, and some -14 in the hooks at some shops, including South Point in Las Vegas, 48.5 being the total. So we get Buffalo big road favorite here. Jacksonville off of that tough loss in the Pacific Northwest, heading back home. What are we liking in North Florida?
So we could doodly-oop this. Let's doodly-oop this.
Doodly-oop, doodly-oop, emergency betting alert. Doodly-oop, doodly-oop.
If you like the Bills, get them right around at minus 14.
Okay.
I'm not convinced this number is going to be there. And again, look ahead line here, Buffalo only 10.5, 49.5. My powering number only 13.5 on the Bills for this contest. But the markets, Jacksonville was rough yesterday. I mean, that was a rough, it was a no-show game for the Jags. Off a bye. And, Trevor Lawrence. We played like crap today. That's going to happen every now and then, but we can't let this happen again for sure. So in theory, Jacksonville's supposed to play better, but James Robinson hurt. We don't know if he's going to go. Urban Meyer it was a debacle yesterday. The defense struggled. The offensive line got eaten up. Their receivers got eaten up. Lawrence was awful. Meyer, quote, I didn't see this coming. We had a good week of practice. Guys are freshening from a bye week. We go down 14-0, and we're not built to be just a throw team. We got to have the run game. And the penalties were nonsense. All right, Urban. Bottom line is Buffalo didn't play well yesterday. Josh Allen struggled early, 10-19 for 80 yards. That was into the second half. Closed the game out with his final 23 throws, hitting 19 of them for 169 yards. Their final 4 possessions, the Bills finally get the offense clicking, scored 23 points. Sean McDermott, really, that's the biggest takeaway from this game is you're not always going to come out and score. It comes down to the fourth quarter, and I thought that was good for us as a team. Now we've got to build on it. Certainly, there's no comparison between what the Bills are able to do with the line of scrimmage and what the Jags are able to do with the line of scrimmage. In theory, Buffalo is supposed to be focused here because they didn't play well last week. I would anticipate the money coming for the road favorite here, just like it did for the Bills when they were in Houston. We'll see Bills money here against Jacksonville at 14. Again, it's not going down, so it's not going to hurt you if you like Buffalo. To lock in at that 14 number right here, right now, because that number's not going to be sitting at 13.5 at kickoff. May go up higher than 14.5. I'm seeing 14.5s out there now, so that's why we doodly-ooped it. Emergency betting alert if you like the Bills. Lay the 14 here. This number can only go one way.
I like it, Teddy. Bills, back-to-back doodly-oops, back-to-back weeks here on the show. And last week, it was very important to jump on it, guys. So this week, minus 14 here, Buffalo Bills at Jacksonville Jaguars for the emergency betting alert. Teddy, next game up, we got 1 o'clock Eastern here. Cleveland at Cincinnati. We are seeing the Bengals minus 2.5 here, home favorites at most shops. There is a minus 3 out there, 46 being the total. What are we liking in the AFC Norris matchup?
There's a handful of minus 3s out there. This is a split line right now, which is the reason that we're going to have back-to-back emergency betting alerts. We'll doodly-oop this one as well. The only 2 on the show, and they come back-to-back right here. So let's get it.
Doodly-oop, emergency betting alert. Doodly-oop.
Yeah, if you like the Browns, grab a +3 now. Again, about half the shops are at 2.5 and half the shops are at 3. Just like the Bills, Jags, half the shops are at 14, half are at 14.5. This isn't one where if you don't have outs, you're necessarily going to get. But if you have outs right now, you can lay 2.5 with Cincinnati and you can take 3 with Cleveland. I think this line goes down, not up. I'm expecting 2.5s or lower at the close. Look ahead line was 3. My powering number here is 2. Both teams coming off bad games. The Bengals led by double digits in the fourth quarter of that contest against the Jets. They're up 11, and they found a way to lose it in regulation. Again, they're +2 in turnovers. They're double-digit faves. They lose straight up. Zach Taylor, head coach, quote, got out-coached, got outplayed today. They're a hungry team. We knew they were capable of this. Defensive end Sam Hubbard for Cincinnati. It's a wake-up call for sure. Any team can beat anyone on any given Sunday. We learned that today. It's a valuable lesson that won't be forgotten. So since he's saying all the right things off a game where they just were flat. As for Cleveland, they were in many ways better than Pittsburgh yesterday, and yet they found a way to lose the game, and the Browns have been doing that for some time. Myles Garrett was a monster yesterday. Grant Delpit was a monster. They had playmakers on defense all day long making plays. They had all kinds of chances on offense. Jarvis Landry, a fumble, and then 2 drops. in the final 6 minutes of the game. Landry, quote, "I wish I could go back 2 or 3 plays for myself having an opportunity to make plays and just didn't. I owe it to my teammates." Baker Mayfield, it's on all of us. Everyone's going to point fingers at a few plays. But the fact is, we just did not get into a rhythm today. We stubbed our toe a few times. Penalties did not make the plays we needed to win. Cleveland still dealing with injuries and issues. I like the chemistry in Cincinnati a lot better than the chemistry in Cleveland right now. But again, from a betting standpoint, +3 with the Browns is a number that's less likely to be there by Sunday. You want Cleveland plus the 3? I don't. If you do, now's the time to bet.
Good stuff, Teddy. And guys, I need to apologize. I didn't tee that up correctly. We do have +3s on the Cleveland Browns at Circa. We have it at Westgate right now. We also get it at WinBet and Bookmaker, just to name a few. So they are definitely out
has
there.
It 3 right now. Some of the offshores that I'm not going to name. But yeah, you can find it in the global market. You can find it in Jersey. You can find it around the country. You can find 3s in Vegas. They exist.
Absolutely. So back-to-back emergency betting alerts there, guys. Buffalo -14, Cleveland +3. We get Las Vegas and New York Giants up next here. Teddy, we saw it, -2.5 in last week's look ahead. Now we're seeing -3 at most shops for the Raiders as the road favorite. 47.5 being the total here.
Yeah, look ahead line to Raiders 2.5, 47.5. My powering number comes 3, and the books that have posted for today are posting 3, anticipating the Giants lose. If the Giants play well tonight, the Giants win tonight, this number is likely to come a little bit shorter. If the Giants get bombed tonight, I'm not convinced it comes a whole lot higher, but we could see 3.5 on the short week. But I would anticipate this isn't one of those games where you have to make 2 bets if you're betting tonight. If you bet the Giants tonight, sure, bet them again for next week. And you're likely to get the best of the number if the Giants cover this evening and or win. Similarly, if you want to bet the Chiefs tonight, you can bet against the Giants for next week and get 2 bets in. And you'll probably get a half point the better of it. But this isn't one of those games where if you get tonight's handicap right, the lines, you're going to get max line value if you make the bet for next week, where the line's going to move 2 or 3 points. The Raiders are going to come in the range of -3, regardless of how the Giants look this evening. Of course, I botched his name last time. I'm not doing it this time. Thank you guys in the comments for telling me how to say it right. Bisaccia is the Raiders head coach. And of course, Raiders have played arguably their 2 best games of the season, their last 2 weeks. Certainly the last game Carr completed 91% of his passes. That's the second best single game percentage in NFL history on a minimum of 30 attempts. Quote, this is what Bisaccia said. "We can all see the relationship that him and offense coordinator Greg Olson have running this offense. It's really coming to fruition. Off the field, Derek is the voice of the Raiders right now. The players always want to listen. He's a tremendous leader on and off the field, and the Raiders have handled all their distractions very, very well in recent weeks." And of course, if you watch Philly dominate the line of scrimmage yesterday against Detroit, and then look what happened to Philly against the Raiders, where they got annihilated at the line of scrimmage. The Eagles go punt, fumble, end of half, punt, fumble. That was the Raiders dominating the line of scrimmage. That could potentially be a weakness for the Giants in this matchup. That's Citi Field this coming week.
Teddy, we got a good NFC South matchup. Oh, wait, what's that?
I said not Citi Field, MetLife Stadium. I don't know why. I was spacing on the stadium. MetLife, yeah. Sorry. I'm talking about where the Mets play versus where the Jets and Giants play.
Yeah, it happens. We got a good NFC South matchup up next, Teddy. 465, 466. The rotation numbers here. Atlanta Falcons, New Orleans Saints. Talk about a kind of tricky, interesting handicap. The Saints here at home. We're seeing a -5, -5.5 home favorites. 43 being the total in New Orleans. The Big Easy here, Teddy.
So it looks like Jameis Winston's out for the season. That just happened since we came on air, or came out this morning. I'm just seeing that on the which is a pretty significant loss.
Oh yeah.
If you don't know who's going to play quarterback for New Orleans. Is Taysom Hill back from his concussion yet? Don't know. He was, in theory, allowed to come off the IR this week. And Trevor Siemian was a guy who started in Denver for parts of 2 seasons. He only throw 6 passes the last 3 years. They had a good offensive game plan for him. Sean Payton, he's an experienced player. He has confidence in the guy. His play calling had more to do with how Tampa Bay was defending than the fact that he had a backup quarterback behind center. Simeon after the game, there's a joy to this game. There's nothing better than to see your teammates make plays. You're moving the ball, and it's the best. Look headline here with Saints 5.5, 45.5. Without Winston, my number's a lot lower. My number's lower than the market's here. And again, I'm not convinced Winston's out for the year. Are you seeing that confirmed anywhere? I just saw that splash for me, Drew.
I haven't. I'll look, though.
Yeah, that'll be the lead story
I
on ESPN if it's true. But the bottom line is New Orleans, not a team I'm being in a rush to lay a price without their starting QB, even off the impressive win yesterday. And then, of course, Atlanta, without Ridley, that offense stinks and the defense stinks. Arthur Smith, after yesterday's game, they came in here, they ran the ball, they shortened the game. We didn't do enough on offense. Matt Ryan, one of the worst games of his career. Again, he had less than 100 passing yards, and they got the ball back down 9 with 3 minutes to play. Carolina's got a good defense, not that good. Atlanta, a hard team to put your money on right now. They've been wildly inconsistent, and right now they're missing their top receiving threat.
Today, I couldn't find anything definite here, guys. If you can help us out, we are seeing confirmed in the chat box from RJ, torn ACL. So, maybe out for a year here, Teddy, with Jameis Winston. Huge shout out to the chat box, guys. Everybody joining us, letting us know. Yes, suffered torn ACL, MCL damage versus the Bucs. Will miss remainder of the season from Jeff H. So, thanks, guys, for helping us out.
I have to think there'd be some Falcons money given this news, and there's none. Which is telling us what the markets are thinking about Atlanta right now.
Sure, or could it be they were already factoring maybe Winston being out, Teddy? In this line is
look ahead line was 5.5 with Winston in. You understand what I'm saying? Look, and the market's 5.5 right now.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, even before the game, you're right.
Yeah, it's one of those deals. Maybe we should emergency betting alert Atlanta right here.
Should we? I mean, it would be kind of like the live emergency betting alert.
But the emergency betting alerts are based on what I'm seeing in the markets. That's what I'm saying. Hey, this number's going to move. All right. I'm not seeing anything that says this number's going to move right now.
Okay. So we're not doodly in this one yet? All right.
We're not doodly because we're not seeing it. That said, if you like Atlanta, there's 6s. Grab a 6.
All right, look for the 6 guys on the Dirty Birds of the Atlanta Falcons. We got moving down the list here, guys, and we're staying with 2 emergency betting alerts, at least for now. LA Chargers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Next game up here as the Chargers make the cross-country trip, Teddy, and laying 2.5 on the road here, 50 being the total. Eagles look good yesterday. Can they keep this rolling?
Well, they played the Lions yesterday. The Chargers look at line was 3-50. My powering number is 2.5. The markets this morning are 2.5, 50.5. There were 3s. There's still at least 1 3 that I see, but they're certainly not widely available. I couldn't give an emergency betting alert now to say grab the 3s. There's just not enough of them. And of course, Philly got Detroit yesterday, and they played really well in the trenches. After the Raider game, which I hadn't seen Philly look like that in the trenches. It looked like Philly in the trenches. Nick Sirianni were able to push some guys around up front. Dan Campbell on the Detroit side of the equation, we got pushed around bad, And again, 236 rushing yards at 5.1 yards per carry, 4 touchdowns at 5 red zone opportunities. The defense controlled the flow. They had 4 sacks in the first half alone. It was a blowout, but it was Detroit. Chargers ain't Detroit. And they get a Chargers team that is not happy with what happened yesterday in a game that they really didn't play well. Start to finish, they didn't play well. The offense out of sync throughout. Keenan Allen, quote, "We shouldn't have lost. We beat ourselves in the foot. Penalties, turnovers, drops, you name it. We did it." Chargers have a better game in them than the one they just played. Philly isn't going to play a better game than that all year. So for what it's worth, that said, the money has come. The threes are mostly gone right now, so the market's looking at Philly as a team that has some potential. And I don't know that I disagree with that. There's hope for the Eagles in a way there isn't hope for many of these lesser teams because they have that strength in the trenches.
Teddy, next game up, 469-470 here. The Green Bay Packers and the Kansas City Chiefs. We're seeing the Chiefs minus 3-point home favorites, 55 being the total. A little bit of a limited marketplace with the Chiefs playing tonight in Monday Night Football. Packers and Chiefs, Teddy, and Arrowhead.
Yeah, look at line, KC 2.5 and 53.5. My powering number only is KC 1, and I thought it was being generous, making KC 1. And the markets today sitting in that 2.5/3 range. Now, this is one where if you're betting KC tonight, you bet KC at 2.5 for next week. If you're betting against KC tonight, you take the +3 against KC next week. If you want to get the best of the number, if your handicap tonight is right, the Chiefs likely to be affected. Again, when you're around the key number of 3, you can say if KC loses tonight, the market's going to crash on this team.
Sure.
If KC loses this game, it's not going to be pretty for what the markets do. If they win, but unimpressively, we might not see the same crash. A straight up loss, KC might not even be favored here. At the same time, if the Chiefs look good, the Packers were +3 in turnovers against Arizona. They're a team that, not going to say living on borrowed time, but a lot of things have gone right for Green Bay during this run. Since that debacle in week 1, they've got a lot of calls. They've got a lot of breaks. They're a team with a lot of positive chemistry right now, but I'm not convinced that they are truly elite. Neither's KC. Interesting game. Again, the Chiefs, your opinion about the Chiefs tonight and how good that opinion is could certainly give you a bet right here. Line likely to be affected by how Kansas City looks. I'm telling you, if they lose straight up, the markets will crash on Kansas City.
Oh, I can definitely see that, Teddy. If they lose outright, it's doubles here tonight. Watch out, guys. We got Arizona and San Francisco up next for the last of the afternoon games here. We get the Cardinals as the road favorite, Teddy. -2 in the hook is what we're seeing at most shops right now in San Francisco, Levi's Stadium. 46 being the total NFC West matchup, Teddy covers.
Look at line, Arizona -3, total of 47. My powering number is a little shorter. It's only 2.5, and the market's sitting in that 2.5 range. Today, I'm not really seeing a whole lot of threes on this game, hence the no emergency betting alert for this one. Cardinals were -3 in turnovers in the game against Green Bay and still almost won it. They would have won it probably had they not committed the 3rd turnover. But everyone's talking about the Packers' injuries in that game, and the Packers still do have cluster injuries at wide receiver. The Cardinals, impact injuries, J.J. Watt, out for the year. The key to the pass rush, the key to the whole defense. He's hurt. It showed. Yeah. What's the key to the offense? Offensive line play. Rodney Hudson, the center. He's hurt. Those names didn't get the same level of pub as the Packers wide receivers did. But Arizona is not as good a team right now as they were 2 weeks ago. And the markets aren't necessarily reflecting that. Now, of course, they are coming off a loss. And the quote, Cliff Kingsbury, we didn't play well in the first half. I didn't call a very good game. Couldn't get into a rhythm. Took some negative plays. In the second half, guys responded. They've done that all year. When we struggled, able to come back and answer the bell. We just weren't able to finish this time. So I don't think there's any negativity for Arizona off of the loss. Maybe hunger. At the same time, San Fran outgained Chicago 8.6 yards per play to 4.8 yards per play yesterday. Jimmy G diced up a pretty good defense. Deebo Samuel just broke a Jerry Rice record. All right. 819 receiving yards for the first 7 games. Jerry Rice's club record was 781. When you're breaking Jerry Rice records, man, Elijah Mitchell had a monster game yesterday, and they moved the ball up and down the field against what had been a pretty good Bears defense. Nick Bosa, quote, we had a lot of talks and meetings, everything just leading up to the game. It's all good, but it matters what you do on the field. San Fran, they'll be playing to get back to 500 and save their season in this ballgame. I would not be shocked if they get at least some betting market support.
Yeah, absolutely, Teddy. That was a fascinating handicap. And we got the next one up with a bunch of guys asking questions here, wanting me to ask you about Derrick Henry. Your thoughts on him, maybe props to the under. I'm seeing some guys shout out your thoughts on that, but I'll throw it over to you. Tennessee, LA Rams, Sunday Night Football, 54 being the total. We're seeing the Rams now -7 in the hook. That's -7.5 point home favorites across the board here, Teddy. What are you liking in LA Sunday night next week?
Look ahead line, Rams 4-52. That does not factor in the Derrick Henry injury. I updated my power ratings last night without factoring in Henry out long term and made the number 5.5. Henry is a running back that's worth 2 points. All right.
Yeah.
1.5, 2 points. He's the only one. Literally the only one. Ryan Tannehill is so good offensively when he's got Derrick Henry to lean on. And, I mean, what? From a spot standpoint from Tennessee, all right, massive win. Back-to-back massive wins. 3 straight. In fact, they've won 4 straight now. But the last 3 have all been huge, tough games. You lose your stud in Henry. The defense is still spotty. Yeah, you can understand why this number is, and again, there was 6.5 last night, 7.5 without Henry this morning. My Derrick Henry under 1,550 rushing yards for the season, still alive. It's the only prop bet I made. Worth noting, Tennessee's 15-6 on the road since 2019, straight up. And again, the Rams led 38-0 in Houston yesterday when McVay pulled Stafford and many of the starters. And then all of a sudden, again, the Texans scored 22 and are throwing at the end zone by the end. LA's A game's pretty good. And we'll have to see how Tennessee responds to the loss of their heart and soul. It's not a game where I would anticipate there's likely to be a whole lot of wise guy money on the Titans. It would be Rams or pass in the markets. And obviously we've already seen that this morning.
Guys, we got 1 game left. Feel free to fire away any questions. The good one so far with that Derrick Henry props. Hopefully, Teddy answered it for you. We got Aubrey asking good questions as well. Thanks for joining us live, 10 a.m. Pacific time, each and every Monday right here on the Wager Talk YouTube channel. Teddy, for next Monday night's game, Chicago and Pittsburgh, 40 being the total. We're seeing the Steelers -6.5 now as the home favorites off of that Bears loss yesterday, not looking good, maybe having something to do with this push-up in the line. But what are we thinking next Monday night, Chicago and Pittsburgh, Teddy?
And just real quick, guys, I really appreciate all the questions, all the comments. And a lot of times during the show, we have a hard out on the show, so we can't answer all the questions we want to. If there's any question you have that we don't answer, go into the YouTube comment section and ask it there. Drew and I both get in there throughout the course of the week. We do our best to answer as many questions as we can. So we really appreciate the audience participation. Just sometimes as we're going through all the games, we don't have time to get through all of this stuff because we do have a hard out at the end of the show for the next programming from the Wager Talk YouTube channel. All that being said, now's a good time to say, please give us a like, please give us a follow, leave us a thumbs up. We really appreciate all of the support. I mean, I'm blown away by all the support I get for this show. Thank you guys. That said, keep it up. If you like the show, please tell your friends. Look ahead line here. Uh-oh, my writing's bad. Is that 5 or 6? That's a shoot. I can't tell if it's a 5 or a 6.
It was 5. -5. Yeah.
5 and 40.5. My powering number, Steelers 6, and the markets this morning sitting at 6.5 and 40.5. It's not like Pittsburgh's an easy team to lay points with. All right, the Steelers offense, I mean, that was what Big Ben looked like with 2 weeks off in playoff revenge mode. And it wasn't pretty. Obviously they had kicker issues yesterday. After a fake field goal was doomed. But Pittsburgh right now is winning games with their defense. TJ Watt was a monster in yesterday's ball game. And, offensively, they're a struggling team. Chicago got outgained 4.8 yards per play to 8.6 yards per play. A defense that's supposed to be good got absolutely gashed in that ball game. And Justin Fields made some wow plays yesterday, and it still wasn't enough. It's a very, very flawed Bears team. They may get Matt Nagy back this week. Note that all the other teams that were missing their head coach for a game won and covered, not Chicago. There's a lot wrong with the Bears. I'm not anticipating a whole lot of Chicago betting market support, certainly not from the public.
Guys, feel free to fire away any questions in the chat box watching live. And like Teddy said, fire them away in the comments if we don't get to them. But Teddy, we do have some good questions here. Starting off with Aubrey in the chat box asking, question for Teddy, what do you do when you have a strong opinion about a game but notice the market moving drastically in the opposite direction? Examples, Titans at Colts this past week.
Two things that you do. Okay, one is you wait patiently. All right, you can have I have no problems fading the market. I have no problems fading the market at all. But you wait until you get the best of the number. Did you want Tennessee at pick'em? Did you want Tennessee at +3? The other thing that you do is try to make sure that the betting markets aren't being influenced by something that's meaningful to you. In this case, it was all situational. The markets loved the spot for Indy. There was no injury info that was driving that line move. I have no problems fading a line move, but wait till the line has finished moving before you make your bet.
Teddy, Jameis Winston injury news. I can't remember if it was last year, the year before, even the year before maybe, talking about Jameis Winston being the quarterback. He got injured, and your analysis was Jameis Winston is the over quarterback and the backup being the under quarterback. Is that the same coming true here with Simeon being the quarterback for the Saints?
No, because Winston's been an under quarterback in New Orleans, and Sean Payton isn't letting him throw to you. And the Saints have no downfield receivers. So it's an under team that's even more of an under team now. But it's not Winston throwing for Arians like he was. Yeah.
Right, sure. So still look maybe Saints more unders than overs, though.
Right now, yeah. All the Saints want to do is shorten the game. And again, I don't know who's going to play QB this week for the Saints, whether it's going to be Hill, whether Hill will be back, or whether it'll be the third stringer again. But the bottom line is the Saints are not a team I'm rushing to bet overs with right now. They have no weapons. And the defense is really good. Defense flummoxed Brady yesterday.
Okay. We got Essex, England in the house, Abby Jackson, Michael Campbell as well. We got JDA asking, I know normal teasers is to get +1s, +7s, but is there any value doing 4s to 10s in teasers in the NFL, Teddy? No.
There's one way I'm going to allow. Again, if you're asking my opinion, the answer is no. The only teasers you're allowed to bet, the only ones, 6-point teasers that tease the favorites from more than a touchdown to less than a field goal. So your capture, or the small dogs from less than a field goal to up to more than a touchdown. You have to capture 3, 4, 6, and 7. All 4 of those numbers to make the math on a teaser work. When you capture those 4 numbers, you're getting enough value. 4 to 10 doesn't capture the 3, doesn't capture the 4. It's not a bet I would recommend.
Like it, Teddy. Good stuff from the chat box. As always, guys, huge shout out for the questions. Can't get to all of them, but feel free to fire away in the comments. Teddy and myself will be in there answering them throughout the week. Check out Teddy Covers, WagerTalkSportsMemo.com. 56, 57 right there on the line. NFL winners for the last, since 2015. Long-term track record there, guys. 4-0 this past week in the NFL. Check them out, WagerTalkSportsMemo.com. Teddy Covers, also on Twitter, @Teddy_Covers. I'm on Twitter, @DrewMartinBets. Guys, please smash that like button. Teddy, any closing thoughts, final thoughts before we shut this down?
Enjoy the games, and good luck. Thanks for watching. Please, we're really trying to grow this show. If you like the show, tell your friends. Thanks.
Tell your friends, hit that retweet button. Comment below, guys. Let us know that you're watching, what you're looking to bet as well. For Teddy Covers, I am Drew Martin. We'll be back next Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Come back and join us. Best of luck with your bets. Until then, thanks for tuning in.
The Big 5 American sports are all scheduled in November for the first time since November 2020, and we want to celebrate by slashing the cost of all daily packages by 50%, including 5% best bets. Starting Tuesday, November 1st through Sunday, November 7th, $25 daily packages are priced at $12.50, and $35 5% best bets are priced at $17.50. But even better, this is the perfect time to take advantage of Wager Talk's one-day all access. Lock in the handicapper of your choice for one full day for only $39, including when they have a 5% top play that normally sells for $35. But during our 50% slash promotion, you get a one-day all access for only $19.50. This special is valid through Sunday, November 7th, so save the whole week long.